If you want one of the most aggressive sounding axle backs on the site for your EcoBoost for the least amount of money, well then you have to check out the C&L axle back that we have here today, available for your 2023 and newer non-active EcoBoost Mustang at home. Now the C&L will offer a ton of volume along with a quality stainless steel build, all for right around that $300 price point. All right guys, so as you heard with our sound clips at the very top of this video, this system from C&L is gonna absolutely peg the bang for your buck meter as well as the old decibel meter. Now, this isn't going to be for the EcoBoost owners out there who are only looking for a slight bump in sound over your factory exhaust. Instead, this is gonna be for the owners out there looking for all of the volume, all of that unruly turbo noise, the pops, the cracks, the backfires coming down off the revs, and all of that good stuff to go along with it. So, breaking out my Wake the Neighbor scale, I'm gonna go strong 4 out of 5 here on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Now, honestly guys, this thing can get louder, and if you're looking to crank things up even further, basically achieve that full 5 out of 5 rating, well then getting rid of your factory resonator will certainly be the way to go, but expect the interior noise to drum up dramatically when ditching that resonator. As it sits now, yes, you're gonna hear this thing inside the car while cruising. It's not exactly boomy or droney, but that is with your factory resonator in place. And again, ditch that thing, it's only gonna get louder both inside and out. Now moving into construction, and despite its super affordable price point, the C&L is gonna pack a pretty high quality build here, consisting of that full stainless steel throughout, guys. 409 grade stainless to be exact, and then finished in a black coating here to add even more protection to that already stout stainless steel material. Now you're gonna be finding the 2.5-inch mandrel bent tubing throughout here, guys, leading into and out of those straight through performance style mufflers. And then finally, everything is going to exit out of the factory location thanks to the massive 4-inch stainless steel dual wall tips. And as you can see, they are done up in the more traditional polished finish. Now, the system does neck down here at the end to actually slip into your factory piping. That's gonna neck down at 2.25 inches. And C&L does toss in all of the necessary clamps to make your connections there. And of course, your factory style hangers to get everything in place for a relatively easy install. Price point certainly gonna be another big feature here with the C&L, coming in right around 300 bucks, give or take. It's gonna make this one of the most affordable axle backs on the site for your EcoBoost, period, with or without a muffler. Now, a lot of those muffler deleting straight pipe systems will be at or around the similar price point of the C&L, but factor in the cost of adding the muffler in addition to the full stainless steel build. And I think, again, for right around 300 bucks, this is gonna be an absolute bargain, especially for owners out there looking for a ton of volume. Shifting gears, let's get into the installation portion of this video. Yes, this is an axle back, guys. That means you have to cut your factory system. There's really no getting around that here. So just be prepared, have your cutting tool on hand, sawzall, cutoff wheel, something similar, guys, hacksaw, whatever you gotta do to get this system in. It's really not that bad. Just measure twice, cut once, you know the deal there. Now, because there is cutting involved, the site is gonna nudge this one up to a very soft 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. About an hour or so to complete from start to finish, depending on how fast you like to work. But now let's throw it out to the guys in the shop to check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
The tools you'll need for this project are an impact gun or ratchet, an extension, a 13 and a 15 millimeter socket, and you'll also need to source some sort of cutting device such as a sawzall or a cutoff wheel, and then also a file or a grinder to smooth out all of the burrs on the cut pipe. Hi everyone, today we're installing an exhaust on our EcoBoost Mustang, but first let's watch a short video on how to uninstall the stock system first.
Now, your obvious first step here, guys, is to lift and support your car, whether it be on jack and jack stands or in this case, a lift. Now, with the car up in the air, we're gonna start by removing the 2 13 millimeter bolts, securing these brackets back here towards the rear of the car. Now we can move up to our clamp here that secures our factory cap back to our downpipe. and loosen these two 15mm nuts here. We don't have to remove them all the way. We just want to make sure we can loosen those enough to loosen this clamp up. So now with our forwardmost clamp loosened up, we're going to grab a buddy here, and what we're going to do is get the exhaust off of the brackets here that secure it to the rear subframe, drop the front of the catback itself, and then at that point we can slide the rear of the factory catback out of these hangers.
To install this new exhaust system, it's going to require that you cut the pipes on your stock system. So once you've got this uninstalled and laying on the ground, you can go ahead and cut this either using like a chop saw or cutoff wheel or even a Sawzall. But it is important to know where exactly to cut these. So there are two different measurements that we're going to need, one for each side of the exhaust. The first one for the passenger side is going to require you to cut this 20.5 inches from the back of the muffler. The driver's side pipe is going to need to be cut 21.25 inches from the back of the muffler. Once you've got those cut off and deburred, which is very critical to make sure that the new pipes slide on there, then you can go ahead and reinstall the front resonator and clamp it back into place. Not completely tightened it down, just leave it snug enough that you can maneuver it and readjust it once we get this installed. So let's go ahead and get our exhaust installed. Now, as you can see by looking at our exhaust system, we've already cut the pipes on here, and that's because we've already done this several times in the past, so we already know exactly where to cut this. So we're supporting that exhaust system right now with a jack stand. You might want to do something similar when you get yours put back on. Now, you will need to transfer over the two exhaust hangers that go right behind the differential here from your stock system to the new system. So once you get those pulled off of the old system, you can just slide it back on this front hanger, making sure, of course, that this hook on the hanger itself is facing towards the front of the vehicle. Once you've got that done, we'll go ahead and slide our exhaust clamp on the front of our pipe. And then we'll lift this up and we'll put the rear hanger into the isolator at the back of the car, and then we'll go ahead and connect the front of our pipe. So now we'll go ahead and slide our rear hanger into the rear isolator. Go ahead and slide our pipe onto our exhaust system. And once you've got your new exhaust pipe slipped onto the original pipe, we can go ahead and snug this clamp up here using our 15mm socket. Now, you don't want to tighten it all the way down just yet, because we are going to need to adjust it and make sure everything is lined up when we're done. So we'll just snug this up right now. Now, you want to make sure also that that clamp is at the very front of the new pipe when you clamp that down in order to give it the best ability to lock it down. Now we'll go ahead and, using the original hardware, we'll go ahead and reattach our isolator behind the rear differential. And again, we're not going to tighten that down just yet until we get everything lined up and installed completely. Now, once you've got the passenger side installed and snugged up, you can go ahead and repeat that whole process for the other side. Now, once you've got the system completely installed and you've got all of your hangers reattached here, Go ahead and double check your alignment. Make sure there's no interference with the frame or the suspension or any wires or hoses that may be back here. And then once you've got it lined up where you want it to be, then you can go ahead and start tightening everything down for the final time, starting from the front and working your way back. So you're going to use your 15mm socket to tighten everything down. So we'll start with our front clamp here. Now we'll get our two rear clamps. Now we can go ahead and tighten up our two bolts on our rear hangers here right behind the differential. And to do that, we'll use our 13mm socket. And that wraps up our review and install of the C&L Axleback exhaust with polished tips for your 15 and newer Mustang EcoBoost without active exhaust. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.